Good afternoon. About 10 years or so ago, my staff and I had the opportunity to take on the task of painting the interior of a Habitat for Humanity home. And still today we have memories and experiences and bonding opportunities from that. And so it's certainly a pleasure for me to introduce our guest today, who's going to talk more about that. But just a second before we get there, Habitat, like many other service and community organizations, is wonderful things, but like many volunteer organizations, some of the things they do go unnoticed in the community, even though they're around us. And so we're going to hear more about that today. And so we have two board members. One is Greg Erspamer, who I've known for 30 years. He's been a longstanding member of Habitat, has contributed helping those that are less fortunate of us with housing and other situations, whether it's Faith in Action or Habitat. And even though he's semi-retired, he's fully engaged in what he's doing with Habitat. And then the second member is a newer member, and his name is Drew Westerhold. And so I have the pleasure of calling him son, but he's newer, he's going to be presenting. And so between both of them, they're going to tell you a little bit more about what's going on with Habitat and the current build. So welcome, Drew and Greg, and look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you, Dad. Like my dad said, I'm Drew Westerhold. We have Greg here. We are with the Edwardsville chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Here to talk to you today a little bit about our organization. I'm sure many of you have heard of the organization before, but I'm here to talk a little bit more about it. So what is Habitat for Humanity? We are an international nonprofit Christian housing ministry. Basically, our goal is to focus on building houses, simple, decent houses for families of lower income and modest income, basically in need of a new house, of a new place to live. A common misconception of Habitat is the family that receives the house gets it for free. That is not the case. They have to put in so many hours of sweat equity and volunteer hours. And then once that's achieved, and obviously the house is built and ready, they have to pay off their mortgage to Habitat and through Habitat. Basically, the mortgage is zero interest and at no profit for Habitat. So it's a good deal all around. Both sides come out with it. A little bit of history about Habitat for Humanity. It was started in 1976 by Millard and Linda Fuller. They were husband and wife, as well as Clarence Jordan in Americus, Georgia. There's a picture of them below there. In Georgia, they started it at a farm called Canonia Farm. It's where the idea of partnership housing was established. Obviously, the idea of getting together as people and as volunteers and build houses for people in need. Since 1976, Habitat now works in all 50 states, in over 70 countries worldwide. I know recently, in the last couple of years, we've completed our 800,000 home. So quite an accomplishment, and obviously a lot of homes out there going to good families. The Edwardsville chapter was started 15 years ago in September of 2007. That's when the first house was built. Since then, we built 9 houses in the area, one on M Street, one on Highland Street, Pine Avenue. I know there was one on Grand Avenue too. Am I correct, Greg?
That was a fundraiser for Habitat.
That was a fundraiser. I know we built one in Warden a few years back, and so obviously trying to keep that momentum going, with future houses and keep progressing on that front. The current house we're working on is on Hill Lane here in Edwardsville. So I put up a little aerial map. We are on, I assume everyone can see that, but we're on the right side of the screen, obviously here at First Christian Church. The red star is where the current house is being built at on Hill Lane. So if you go a couple blocks down Shore Street towards Lincoln Middle School, right there at the dog park, you take a left and head up to Hill Lane. Currently where we're building it, we've got 2 lots there. So once we get done with this house and have the funding to do the next one, that's where the next house will be. So like I said, it's in the community here. It's nearby, probably in some of our backyards. How the community and how people can help. We're always looking for great volunteers to help out as either individuals or as groups. We've had businesses, we've had church organizations, we've had friends come together as a group before. Really no experience is needed. You know, we've had lawyers come out and help. We've had carpenters come out to help. So, you know, a broad array of careers out there and people who come to help. Some of these activities that are included during the build are site preparation, framing, drywall, painting, basically anything you can think of that comes to mind when you're building a house. These houses aren't typically very intricate in detail, but they're simple and they're well made for the family for years to come. Other events we do are fundraising events. These events include share nights. We've done them at Peel, done them at Dewey's here in town. So it's a great way to come out, get some dinner for the night, some great pizza, or you know, wherever we hold the event at. But to be able to support the restaurant as well as to support us in raising money for builds and other activities. Third, we do an event called Sinustud. It's an event that Greg came up with a couple years ago. Basically, we hold it at Annie's here in town, and people are able to come out, donate $10, is that right? And get the ability to sign their name, draw a picture, put a Bible verse, anything they want to on a stud. And ultimately that stud will be used come time to build a house as part of the structure of the house. So it's kind of a cool thing. I'll show some more pictures here in a little bit of that. And lastly, we just started our first annual 5K, which we did this past weekend here at Township Park in Edwardsville. We had a great turnout for it. We look forward to doing it here in the future every year. And so that was a great kickstart to that. And lastly, we're always looking for donations. Obviously, houses today, everyone knows the current trend of building materials. They're not going down any, but we're always looking for ways to, you know, reach out to the community and get donations on that front, as well as any building materials, appliances, furniture, stuff like that. There's a store that is part of Habitat for Humanity in Collinsville called Habitat Restore. They refurbish cabinets, you know, all types of furnitures and appliances, and you know, sell them for profit and divvy it up amongst the chapters, or some of that stuff will go into the next Habitat house in the area. So some great opportunities there. Always looking for, like I say, great people and great organizations that you know, can work together and ultimately produce something out of it. So the next couple slides, I just have a few pictures of the current build. Obviously, in the top left corner, you can see the foundation being dug. And then in the top right picture, a picture of the foundation walls and insulation completed. And then in the bottom left picture is a picture of Faith, who is actually the mom to the family of the that will be receiving the house. She is there nailing down some subfloor. And so always great to have her on site helping out with the build. The bottom right picture is a picture of the walls. Obviously, you guys kind of see the picture and it doesn't really look like walls to probably anyone in the room here, but we joined partnerships with the prison in East St. Louis, and they actually built all the walls at the prison, both interior and exterior walls. And all we had to do was get them to the site and stand them up. So it was a great opportunity for them as well as for us. I know that they had a great time. Some of the prisoners were able to learn something, and it helped us out tremendously. Here's pictures of the day the wall showed up and we started standing them up. In the top left picture, you can see where their volunteers are carrying those walls up, those panels up to the house. And the next two pictures are us standing them up. It went very well for the 2 hours that we could work that Saturday. Downpoured on us about halfway through, so we had to split that one up a little bit, but all in all, just a great time and a great way to build it for us. Here are more pictures. You can see the interior walls up. They're completing those. The middle picture and the bottom right picture show pictures of the studs from the Sinustud event. So you can see where people drew their names, people drew pictures, and ultimately, that goes into giving the house strength and structure. And obviously, we'll be around for as long as the house stands. So kind of a cool concept there. Top right picture, just more volunteers working on the walls. And then the bottom left picture is from the day we worked on the roof and got the roof up. You can see members cutting plywood there to go up on top of the roof. And then lastly, the top two pictures are once again pictures of the day we put the roof on. Went very smoothly. We had a local contractor that was able to help us out, as well as bringing some of his guys to assist in getting it up, quickly and efficiently. And then the bottom picture is actually the house this week. So that's the progress, or that's where we're at on the build right now. All the Tyvek is up on the walls, and the tar paper on the roof is up. Shingles are laying next to the house there. That's we'll be working on finishing the roof and getting shingles on here shortly, the next couple weeks. I know Greg mentioned that this week there's a group coming in to do the windows this Saturday. So obviously each weekend that goes by, each week that goes by, it looks more and more like a house. So some of the benefits of being involved with Habitat, obviously you get to connect with members of your community. You get to work side by side with some of them. You also get to improve your surrounding community. So a lot of these houses are, in the heart of Edwardsville. They're in our backyards, and we're able to improve Edwardsville and give a family a home. Some other benefits include learning new skills. If you come out and help on a Saturday, we get to work on a specific task for that week, and individuals can learn new skills and take them home with them, or practice on their own houses with them. In addition to all this, there's a great feeling of pride and satisfaction that comes from finishing up a volunteer day and being able to see what you built, see the progress that you made, and work together with others, team build with members of your community, maybe your friends, members of your group from church, from work, all of the above. So lastly, all these things make the build fun. Like I said, you're doing something positive and providing positive impact on the community, and I think that's great. So to finish off, are there any questions for Greg or I? Go ahead.
Quick observation. For those who were at the club, we did a house, and it feels like over the 15 or 20 years